What's up, guys? My name is John.
And I'm Aki.
And welcome back to Conscious Creatives. We are here at Union Station. Our artist of the week this week is RYAN FOO, a producer, educator, and artist from Denver, Colorado. So let's learn a little bit about you. Tell us about yourself.
I'm a human being, born on the planet Earth. I was endowed with consciousness by a great and mysterious force of which none of us have any idea how to occur. I do great things with my body, like digest food and move my tongue, and I don't even have to try. So those are a few things about me.
That's amazing.
Wow. Profound. So as a human being on Earth, how do you choose to occupy your time? What mediums do you express yourself through? How do you connect to your community?
I like all those questions. I don't occupy my time. I don't think. It seems more to occupy me, but it's great. Mostly I sort of stumble from moment to moment, and it works out really well. It's rather surprising and a bit reckless, but in the most loving way. I'm a part of lots of different communities, theater communities. I'm a part of a couple of education communities and a lot of spiritual communities, talking about what it means to be human and why and all that fun stuff.
So we're currently, it's February 1st today.
Yeah, wow.
So what kind of stuff can we expect from you either in February or this year? What kind of stuff do you have coming up?
I've got a couple of different things. I'm helping to host some workshops at the Cherry Creek Diversity Conference this weekend, helping to get kids to see from different perspectives and not just like, oh, corny, like what would it be like to be in the shoes of this person? But some really genuine exercises that get kids to stretch the limits of their understanding of each other and of themselves. I think there's just nothing more important in this day and age than to start asking those questions and not pretending like we have an answer either.
Do you have a lot of experience working with kids? Is this something that you've been doing for a while?
Yeah, I sort of naturally fell into it with Corin Chavez and Nick and Quinn, all the members of the Black Actors Guild, about 4 or 5 years ago. We just sort of naturally fell into doing small gigs. Then it became successful and really fun, and I personally saw that what the theater games were teaching people wasn't just theater. It wasn't just theater. It was empathy and compassion and applied problem solving, not just like going through a word problem, but being in the word problem. So yeah, really interesting stuff, and I've always loved education.
So you said that you're really diving into your spiritual journey this year. What does that mean, and like what has helped you the most through this journey so far?
Friends. Other human beings have been really, really helpful. It is a strange thing, I think, to say that you're starting to deepen a spiritual path or something like that. And it's also kind of hard to give you an answer about any of that because so much of it is based in inquiry. You see, so much of it's about questions and less so about the answers. So I guess my real answer to what does that mean is I'm finding out. I'm learning every day. I'm learning every moment. And it's a really, really beautiful process. What that also means is taking a lot more time to be dedicated to my body and being dedicated to my mind in meditation or in prayer or whatever other forms one might use. So just taking time to really, really better myself and figure out who this self is that I'm bettering. That's the classic question.
So you mentioned earlier the Black Actors Guild. Can you talk a little bit about what that is, and also your involvement with them, and what the guild has coming up?
Totally. So Show Your Teeth is an award-winning improv show that we've been putting on for like 3 or 4 years now. And it's taking a small break, but it's be coming back sometime in April or May. But right now the guild is just doing a lot of teaching, various different high schools, elementary schools, and middle schools, some college stuff. There's a Black History Month performance coming up at DU. So lots of different little things, but what the Black Actors Guild is a collection of young, talented content creators who are not interested in going out and auditioning for the canon roles, you know, best friend number 2, Othello, something in August Wilson's Fences. You know, there's just more content out there, and the cool thing we found about original content is when you get cool people like these two to create their own stuff, it tends not to be discriminatory in any way. It doesn't require that the actors are female or male or this tall or have this color hair, because what's being expressed is so human, it can come out through anybody. And that actually makes it more fun for directors and producers like myself, because rather than trying to create a stock product, we're actually attempting to develop harmony, resonance with the players that exist. And that's a much different thing than painting a pot, than saying, I'm going to lay out this canvas and paint a pot. Instead, you come up with the palette, and you think, ooh, these are all very interesting colors. What do I want to paint with these colors? You know, it's different than saying, I want to paint this thing. So I think that's what the Black Actors Guild is. It's a wash of different colors and textures and variables, and we put them together into content, and it's really fun.
So speaking about harmony and spirituality, one of the groups that you are involved with is a community center called Heal Denver, located on 8th and Santa Fe, I believe. Could you tell us a little bit about them and what their mission is, what they're trying to do?
Sure. Heal Denver it's on 8th and Santa Fe, like you said. It's a health and wellness clinic. It's sort of like a little dojo of Tai Chi and yoga and various kinds of wellness testing for like STDs and HIV and stuff like that. So everything from the lightest of the light, from like drinking kombucha, to relatively hardcore stuff. So it's a really, really interesting place to be and a really beautiful community. It's also led by a bunch of the daughters of activists of like serious Chicano movement folks, you know, people from the farm labor movement and the movement in the Denver in the 70s, 80s. So it's a beautiful community.
So a lot of times when we're together, we usually have the conversation of past lives come up, and I just love talking to you about that conversation. And so what is one past life that you feel really connected to?
I love this question. I want to make it clear. I think it's a fantastic question. I also want to make it clear before I say anything about it. The more I do my own work, I don't believe perhaps that any one of us lived particular past lives. I do believe that all human consciousness is connected. And so there's no real difference between you and I, which is sort of a silly thing. Oh, well, that's what I believe, but that's where I'm at. So I think we're all each other, and we can all tap into everything. I will say I do very much connect to the archetype or the character of the king, the character of the ruler, and sometimes the dominator, and that manifests in like my own business practices, that manifests in my own personal and relationship stuff, but it also manifests sometimes in dreams and visions of stories of what you could call a past life. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you about one of them?
Yes.
All right. All that disclaimed. I think my favorite one, it's a weird one. My favorite one is climbing a tower. I take off, I have something metal on. It's like cloth and then metal over the cloth. And I go through this door, and I'm sort of tired, I'm sweating, it's hot. Take off the metal and sort of throw it down. There's no one around. I have to walk up this tower. And I'm walking up it, and I can like remember the stairs and the holes in the turret as I walk up, and I'm going to see this woman with long red hair and this dress that's green. It's like green and gold and very, very so it's a very regal dream. Yeah, you can tell a lot about who I think I am based on the dream. And I get to the top, and she's furious with me. And she tries to kill me with a knife, and instead I kill her. It's a very raw vision. And as she's dying, she forgives me, and it's like, and there's this whole thing, and so that's one of them.
So I want to ask about. Thank you. I want to ask about this on your wrist. So obviously you're a gamer. You have a Pokemon Go. It's not a watch. It looks like some sort of device. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is for you? And what are your ranks in Pokemon Go? I've never played it.
Ranks in Pokemon Go. There aren't ranks. It's great. I very much enjoy the game. It's not a watch. It's called the Pokemon Go Plus. It's sort of a kind of a prototype item because it didn't come out fully. As soon as it was out of stock. So I was lucky to get my hands on one of them, and it's to help you play the game. I'm definitely a nerd. I feel like I've never had any real culture, so the culture that I do connect to is gamer culture, but I don't see it as any more than that.
So what's your favorite game?
Life.
Yeah. What do you eat for breakfast?
Crepes. It's rare that I get to really genuinely, but I feel like there's a part of me that feels like I just slept with a pretty girl in high school and now we get to go and get crepes. That's what I feel from crepes. So that's my favorite breakfast. Crepes after good sex.
With that, thank you guys so much. Thank you to RYAN FOO for being our guest today.